everybody, I'm Hayley.
And I'm Kayli.
And we watched Trap and other stuff.
Yes. Because Trap was not enough.
Was a trap.
That's what people kept saying. They're like, was the real Trap us watching a concert the entire time? But yeah. Ooh, Trap is the new M. Night Shyamalan movie starring his daughter as Lady Raven, who just sang to us for the entire time. Oh, and there was a serial killer there too, apparently.
Yes.
If you missed him, you might have, because she was just,
everybody else was missing him. Lord.
Boy. What? Okay.
Can we discuss?
I think so.
First of all.
Right.
His acting, I don't think he acted poorly. Mm-hmm. But when he acted like he wasn't the serial killer.
It was so obvious.
Horrible.
Obvious. That man was like, did you hear about the butcher? He said, but me?
Butcher? What's he look like? He's like, white male, this, that. Oh, no. Who? Where are the police? Can you take me there? I was, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I was just.
No. Yeah.
I think that he did good when he was being creepy. Like when he was in his mode, he was fine. But I was like, he was so obviously the killer. It was paining me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then his daughter, he's like, hey, you want to go down there? We should go down there. She's
right.
like, Dad, you're weird. He's like, you're right. The
Let's only leave. One who noticed that he was weird was the daughter.
Like, Dad, you're being
time.
really strange. And he's like, no, let's dive in. Let's go.
He said, isn't this exciting? She's like, Dad, I'm at a concert.
She's like, Dad, I'm trying to enjoy the show. You're being
just
weird.
Be normal.
Please.
You're embarrassing me.
You're embarrassing me, Dad.
I already have no friends.
Dad.
And it's probably because of you. But okay. I think we should talk about the lack of twist.
I was ready for a twist. I thought it was going to be the wife because Mr. Shyamalan likes a good twist.
Right. And I was
nothing of the sort.
I was thinking there's going to be a twist because in the trailer, it's revealed that he's a serial killer. Towards the very beginning of the movie, we know that he's a serial killer. So It's like, okay, so there has to be more to it. And then there wasn't. Like, I guess the twist was that his wife knocked on him.
I think that's because at first when he came back, I thought he was going to be like, you got me in this mess. Mm-hmm. You clean it up. You're the real killer. And she'd be like,
right. I thought it was going to be like that.
I thought it was going to be her too. And then she's like, yeah, you're kind of weird. I thought it was cheating, but it was something strange. And he was like, damn.
Right.
I kept these lives separate. Did you? Anyway, so yeah, I was a little disappointed that there wasn't a twist because I was like, what's going on? But he was so obviously the killer. If there was a twist, I think that it would have just been bad.
This is what I kind of hoped was happening because of how many times was this man listening at the right time? Oh my God, He's going to try to set a distraction, like pulling the fire alarm as he's,
First of all, when he's running around trying to find an escape, he literally looks dead at the camera.
Multiple times. And
then he's like going to the fire alarm like, I'm about to pull this. And then he about to pull the fire alarm. He's like, oh. And then I find out, I'm like, well, maybe they're not watching the security cameras like that.
No,
but then we find out there's a whole room with TVs all over the place. And they're watching them. I'm like, y'all didn't see this weird white guy standing in the corner?
The entire time?
Just looking and touching the fire. Listen, the lady that was running the show, the British lady, it seemed like she was intelligent. When I say that lady showed up she always showing up late.
The man already behind her backstage. And she's like, we had to pull every man.
They're killing me. And it was making me mad as he kept doing shit and getting away with it.
Yep.
The lady said this man is going to be trying to get backstage.
Yep.
He's going to be trying to do this, and this.
Yep.
All he said was, my daughter had leukemia. And they're like,
it can't be him.
We don't want to bother you with anything else. And I'm not even sure what Shyamalan's character even told the army guy, because the guy that was in full FBI gear.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, before they come backstage, we're going to have to, ask him some questions. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, chill.
And that was it.
And the guy's like, oh, you're right. I'm like, what do you mean?
Right.
So I was like, it's the twist that the whole time Shyamalan is his friend. I'm trying to figure that out because why would you not just, ask me a few questions, let the daughter through. I don't know, do something. But I'm like, what? And he was backstage running around. Their whole goal is to catch the killer. She said he's probably going to be backstage. He's backstage. And nobody questions him. They're like, oh, he's with her. So just let him through. I'm like, the main guy. So it was a lot of just holes in terms of how police work needs to be done.
And that's why I was hoping the twist was going to be that they knew it was him the entire time. And they're just going to wait for him at home or whatever. Because also, let me not get ahead of myself. I was going to be like, the fact that Lady Raven was like, can I go to your house? No, bitch, I don't know you. But before we get there,
killing me.
But that's why I thought the twist was going to be that, because like they were literally pointing out everything that he was about to do before he did it.
Yes.
And they were talking about how he's like super smart, blah blah blah. But then at the end, like it would have been cool to be like, no, we knew it was you the entire time. Yes. You thought you were going to get away with it, but you didn't.
We've been watching you. We actually came to the house, and that would make a lot more sense.
Right. Because also it doesn't make any sense that the wife like narked on him, but like they didn't know who they were looking for, and they didn't like question the person who called it in. Like Tristan was like, maybe she called on a burner phone. I'm like, I feel like today's age,
well, you can call anonymously.
You can, but I feel like there still has to be ways of them tracking down who did what.
And she left, and I guess so. But she left the ticket.
That's why I'm like, this can't be the
She really had to think 5 steps ahead to be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave the ticket, and we're gonna find him at the concert with thousands of people.
Yep.
Couldn't do that.
That was literally the worst plan.
Also, what isn't this not a violation of human rights? I am sitting here at a concert, pay good money for this. Yeah. All of a sudden, you're profiling me, putting a flashlight in my face, and telling me and my family that we have to leave. Mm-hmm. What kind of mess is this?
But I didn't understand like what they were doing, because they were asking them questions, but then it looked like they were lining them up to go inside a tent, and I'm like, so are y'all collecting DNA or swabs?
You actually can't do that.
What are you doing?
That's why I'm confused. I'm like, you can't just tell somebody, hey, you look like the guy, but you got to do this. I actually don't have to do anything.
Did they know what the guy looked like? Because then they're like African-American male, old white man, a man in his 30s.
No, they didn't. So it could be, and this is my thing.
So it could have been anybody.
I don't know why they didn't just pull him over. I know he had a little bit of a tattoo.
Yeah.
But that's still not enough to technically arrest somebody. Like, all you can do is say, hey, can I ask you a few questions? You go, yeah. Go, where were you this night? I was at home.
Right.
Okay. Are you the murderer? No.
Are you the murderer?
Okay. Like, what am I saying? I'm like, they're going to have to let him go.
Yeah.
There's no evidence. The only thing they have is that this man is at the concert, potentially, maybe.
Yep.
Even if he even went to this concert.
Right.
So I'm like, you can't. So I don't even know why he was scared in the first place. I just walked out.
Right.
I mean, he had a little bit of a tattoo that may or may not have been a tattoo. But the fact that they thought he could have been a black man or an old man or this, I'd have been like, me having an animal tattoo on my wrist actually is not enough for you to do anything at all.
Exactly.
Be easy. Like, you can leave me alone now. That's why I'm like, why is he even that scared? They cannot arrest you.
He was very intense the entire time. And then I was very confused on what his plan was whenever he went to Lady Raven's dressing room and was like, I'm going to kill this man. You see him? I am the killer. I was like,
girl, you're not fast enough.
What is
going on? You should snatch that phone and smash.
Yeah. The whole thing was so interesting. I thought maybe because she was like, oh, that's a nice ring. She kept pointing out the jewelry. So I was like, maybe this is like his like trophies. And she knew the trophy. And like the reason that she was so involved was because like maybe somebody in her family passed away. And that was like her mom's ring was on Riley's hand. Yeah. I thought something else was going on, but literally nothing happened the entire time.
No.
There's nothing.
No.
And then he was like, you're going to take us out in your limousine. And then she's like, Riley, can I go to your house?
I'm like, girl, if you don't leave and call the police.
Something.
Simple as 1, 2, 3.
Right. I don't understand. The whole plan on both of their ends was very odd. And I think we should talk about the bathroom scene.
Hey, guys. It's me. I'm calling in from the bathroom. And that's actually the most believable part of this movie. Is that her followers found that man and found that spot in 2 seconds. Quickly. I said, actually, that makes sense. Yep. They said, we're in Philadelphia? Girl, yeah, that's down the street. But I don't know exactly what that is. I was like, actually, yes, this is very believable.
Yeah.
But it was just her doing all that was just so forced. So she's so brave that she's going to go into this man's house, take his phone, run into the bathroom. I don't know. It just seemed very this doesn't seem very realistic. Unless we're getting that her character is that kind of person. We have not really met her. Up to this point, she's a pop star. She's trying to be nice. She's just, hey, okay, hey. And all of a sudden, she's like a badass who's going to catch a murderer.
And that's why I was like, maybe she's like more personally involved and that's why she's taking it upon herself.
Something.
But there was nothing. I was like,
even if you're like, I'm going to kill this man, you're going to do that anyway. Run! I don't know.
You're going to do that anyway.
See, because what you were going to do, and honestly, that's probably a better death than what you had for him.
Right.
Carbon dioxide? If you even tell him the truth.
Right. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's just a nap.
Do it. Now what?
Rather than you over here just chopping them up or whatever.
Whole time she's crazy too.
Right.
Do it.
She's like, actually, I have someone in my basement. You want to meet him?
I said, I don't care. Let's go. Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I don't know. Like, they just making her character doing all that extra stuff. I'm like, what realistically is she doing? So I think it was a really good premise, and I was interested, but like until right when he started getting backstage and they headed home, that's when the movie just started absolutely tumbling for me. They could not. And then when she got kidnapped again in the limousine, I mean, where did he even get a suit? In a minute.
Yeah, I don't know.
He literally came back, had a suit on, told the man, hey, I got it from here. And the driver's like, yeah, okay.
Right.
So this is my limousine. Yeah. I work for this company. I can't just give
I'm
you
not
the
trying
car.
To get fired.
What are you doing? That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
And also, they're not letting you go home. When you are at the center of a murder case, especially one that's going to uncover a ton of other murder cases and kidnappings, they're not just going to let you go home. Like, she's sitting in the car, everybody's just chilling.
Right,
I'm like,
you're
man, you're going
straight
to the police station.
Yeah.
You're being held for questioning.
Yeah, you're a
she
witness.
Then shows up to the spot where the guy was rescued, hugs him. I'm like, what's going on? What? You guys should not even be talking. You guys have to be separated. You got to be questioned. He's probably needs to be swabbed. I don't know. Right. And you're just touching everything.
Right.
Does that make sense? That's why they started losing me, because I'm like, I'm not a super expert, but I know, especially when they found out it was his house, the fact that they let the wife, like, all right, well, bye. No, man, this is an entire crime scene, because just because you caught him, he's technically not found guilty in a court of law. Okay, you still need to come up with evidence about why he's the one. Just because he ran around as being weird, don't make him the killer. So first of all, this house has
lawyer.
To be, that's what I'm saying. You have to lock the house down. I'm like, the whole time they're like, okay, are you good to be here alone? I'm like, she has to actually go. This whole thing is evidence.
But I guess it makes sense because they assumed, because they were there. So I'm assuming that was a sting. Like, they were there waiting for him to come back to attack his wife. So that's why I'm thinking that she was there. It was a part of the undercover movie.
Absolutely not. Because for all you know, she's in on it too. She's going to start hiding evidence and throwing stuff away. They weren't watching good enough anyway, because somehow he snuck in the house. Yep. So I was like, oh, well, maybe he went back through the tunnel. I'm like, no, they knew what the tunnel was. They should have somebody at the tunnel, both entrances, all around the perimeter. And you tell me that man was just in there talking about, let me take my shirt off, about to get bloody, and I have OCD and I don't want to get on my shirt. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. This man is just sitting here? How do you get in? This place should be locked the fuck down.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they keep tasing him like they don't need to shoot his ass. You hear gouging their coworkers' eyes out. They're like, tasing him?
Right. They said, someone get the mace.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I'm sitting here getting my eyes gouged out, I'm going to start shooting. Do you understand?
The fact that his coworkers let him go like that, though.
Grat-ta-ta-ta. No. I can't see, so y'all better duck.
Y'all better duck.
Y'all better.
Friendly fire. I don't care.
I don't know. Y'all ain't saving me out. I ain't saving y'all. They just sit here letting this man do all this stuff while he on drugs, but I guess it like zapped him back to life.
I don't know. That man was tweaking.
You see her sprinkle. Anyway, so it just got very unrealistic. And then at the end, when he's finally in custody and for some reason his hands are in front, whatever.
Yeah.
The kids come back. Who brought the kids back to the house?
Yeah, see,
this is a super crime scene. The kids shouldn't even be here.
Not the super crime scene.
They let the daughter like muff through the fucking stormtroopers.
Yeah, and they're like, let her go.
They're like, okay. They hug, and I'm like, he's literally a killer. He might use her as like, I'm gonna stab her. Exactly. Come on now. Yeah. And so she leaves. And
but that's why I was like, maybe like Riley had something to do with it. Maybe she knew.
No,
like,
never that.
Nothing. And then he just took a spoke and
he went to the bike and they're like, I'm like, shoot the man. Get him. Why is he not like gagged, blinded?
Right.
Throw him in the back.
The Hannibal Lecter treatment, if you will.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this man needs to be restrained. Yeah. He's clearly outsmarting everybody. The British lady just shows up like, oh, did we find him? Ma'am. You let the singer get kidnapped twice.
And let him get away. So they shoot the limousine window and they're like, it's just a helmet and a suit.
This man has supernatural powers at this point, because I'm like,
he does.
It's not making sense. Y'all are doing stuff. We can't see him, so we just have to believe he's doing it. Right. But actually, absolutely not. I just feel like there's ways to do it where he could actually just be really smart and just outsmarting everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what that would be. I'm not a writer. But I'm like, I don't think we have to make the police super dumb in order for him to run around. Because
then it's just not fun anymore. No, it's like, there's no way any of this would happen.
This is so dumb. And then he's like unhooking. Nobody's back there with him with a gun.
Which is what Tristan was saying too. I was like,
you don't transport.
But what's he going to do? Roll out the moving?
Well, with his luck.
They'll stop at the gas station.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, they're going to stop. He's just going to roll out. They're going to. Anyway, so that man deserves to run around because
y'all don't even want him.
Y'all are getting on my absolute nerves.
Yeah.
So I think that was my thing where I was just like, I think that it could have been better. It was such a good premise. Like, I was actually excited to see this movie.
But the real life event that this is based on happened, I think, in the 80s. And
it's like based on a true story?
Yes.
Concert or just the killer in general, the butcher?
Just like the sense of like using something to trap someone. But it wasn't just one person. There's basically a list of 3,000 fugitives that they sent invitations out being like, hey.
I remember this.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, you won some tickets. But like in order to get these tickets, you have to bring your ID and you have to come here in person. Mm-hmm. And like I think they got like 300 people to show up and they were able to just arrest a whole bunch of fugitives. So I was like, oh. They're like, so M. Night Shyamalan, he's heard about this, blah, blah, blah. And he was like really fascinated by it. He's like, I can't believe criminals like fell for something so stupid. But they're like, hey, it's football.
They said, I'll do it again.
What is it? What does Carrie Underwood say? It feels good on a Sunday night.
Carrie?
Thank you. I dug my key. Anyways.
Not football.
Right, that's not football.
But also.
But, yeah, so I think the real life of it is pretty interesting, but it being done here wasn't as interesting. I felt like it
had so much potential.
It was just a lot of outlandishness happening that I was like, well, okay, I guess we're just a make-believe land because what the fuck is this? This isn't
it just started
how anything happens.
Tra-la-la-la-la. I was like, is this comedy? What are we doing?
Yep.
It just became, when I get taken out of the movie, because I'm like, nah, I can't even be in it because I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm not a fan, but it was entertaining.
It was.
I will give it that. I was definitely like, what are we doing? I don't know what's going on.
I was trying to figure out what the plan was for everybody. I was like, so he's like, okay, take me in your limo. I was like, okay, great. And then she's like, take me to your house. I'm like,
take me to the bedroom.
How far are we going?
Could you imagine?
Take off your pants. But anything else? Anything?
Not really.
What do you give it?
2 out of 5. That's
generous, I feel.
Oh.
Not
2 for entertainment?
I feel like that too. Mine's probably a 2 out of 5 too. It was an average time for me. It was like, okay. It felt a little long. There were moments where I felt like pretty tense. I was like, what is going to happen? But as soon as it kept going, I was like, oh, it did go. It wasn't even long. It was like an hour and 45 minutes. I tell you, this felt like it was 2 hours plus.
Yeah. Because that was just like, where are we going with it? It's a lot of running around. The only thing about movies like this is the majority of the movie, they're just going to be running around doing different stuff. Yeah. So then by the time you get to the good part, and if it lets you down, you're like, damn, I just watched that man run around for
2 hours.
Literally 2 hours. Even though it was only an hour and 45 minutes. But.
Yep. Anyways, did you watch anything that you liked, or did you want to shit on some more movies?
Show some more movies?
Shit on some more movies.
Let's see. What else did I watch?
I did watch that one movie.
Obviously, yeah, that one.
Yeah, the one with Glenn Powell and Sydney
Twister?
Sweeney.
I didn't get to see that one.
Oh, the other Glenn Powell movie. I did watch Twister, though. I meant the one with Sydney Sweeney.
Oh,
Anyone Lord. But You. That's what it was. Awful. Terrible.
You know what? Terribly good. Give me some wine. Give me a girls' night, and we're there. That's it.
It's good background noise. It just was like, it was so stupid. I was like, so this whole time, he's like really upset that she just left. I'm like, okay.
She had to go. Sir, she don't know you like that.
Right.
And then they're just ruining their sister/friend's wedding.
Who are y'all to come to my wedding and try to ruin my shit with your little...
one night fucking stand.
It can't be that serious.
Every event is literally about them.
Yeah.
Every single event.
Can we talk about how she was like digging in that man's ass for 5 minutes? I was like, for what? Wash your hands.
We know for what. They burned down one of the probably very expensive items for their wedding.
Yep, the flower thing.
They fell off the ship.
Yep, embarrassing. And then like at the wedding, Sydney Sweeney's character is really upset. And she's like, do you want us to take a walk with you? I'm like, if y'all don't enjoy your fucking date, this ain't about her. I mean, the movie is.
It's hard to sit down.
Right. We're doing too much. It was just.
And then his ex-girlfriend was, I want him now. I'm like, that's predictability.
But yeah, it was also a movie.
Yeah, the movie. At least I didn't pay for that one.
Me neither.
Watch it. Was it Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix,
yeah, somewhere. I'm like, I didn't pay for that one, so we are good.
Yeah, I did watch Twisters, which is another Glenn Powell feature. And I also watched
fangirling over him. What's that one where he's walking in the rain or something with this cowboy hat and white t-shirt? I don't know if it was
that
The
one.
Rain. I might have made that up.
It is Rain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that movie. He's from Arizona.
Oh.
He's a little country boy.
So how they grow.
Yeah. What do they put in the water over there? Or was it Arkansas? It might have been Arkansas. It's one of those A states. But the main girl, she's not American. She's like British or Irish or something. Mm-hmm. I remember watching her in Normal People, where she is Irish.
Okay.
And she plays an Oklahomian.
Oh, no.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Oh, no.
She was like, I'm so, like, Oklahoma's so beautiful.
You're like, is that a country accent?
It was awful. I couldn't. And like, they're trying to be very serious with this movie. The first movie, I think, should have just been the only Twister movie. It's very cheesy. Twister.
It's also in like the 80s or early 90s.
It's 96,
so
yeah.
It has that cheesy charm from that time period.
And it's very goofy. Like, there's literally a cow being flung around. And they're like,
Yes.
oh my God, a cow. And then like, oh, another cow. He's like, no, same cow. It's very goofy.
Yeah.
This movie, they start off by killing like all of her friends with a tornado.
I'm sorry? Oh, is that where she starts her obsession?
Well, they were already tornado hunters, and she's trying to study tornadoes to stop tornadoes.
What do you mean stop tornadoes?
Right.
New age shit. They're going to like throw some weather controllers in the air.
Exactly.
Just like, isn't that what they did? Those little like,
but those
are just measurers,
It was
right?
to measure it, yeah. Okay. But it's like they're using the stuff from diapers to soak up water and I don't know. They're trying to collapse the tornado. Sure, whatever. And most of her friends end up dying. And so then she's like, I'm taking a break from tornadoes. Mm-hmm. The only other surviving friends like, girl, I need you to come back. Like, it's getting really bad in Oklahoma. Okay. And anyways, Glenn Powell's character is a YouTuber, which is a choice.
Okay.
And he's live streaming constantly, which is another choice.
I hate, that's what I hate about the days of today, because when you start implementing some of the things that we do, I'm like, I don't like that.
One thing that really bothers me is vaping. For whatever reason, seeing people vape
in the movie?
movies is...
They were vaping in the movie?
Great. Not that one. But there's lots of movies where they're like... I'm like, that is embarrassing. Get a cigarette. Something. If we're going to smoke, do
a cigarette. Do the OG.
Because it's cringy seeing
it. Looks much cooler.
Right. It's like something about it. I'm like, this is going to age us so poorly.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's like he calls himself a tornado wrangler, and they go and get in his truck and they anchor down in the ground while they're in the tornado and shoot fireworks up a fucking tornado. Right. Anyways, so
and he's alive? You got to be kidding. Are they little baby tornadoes?
They're smaller ones, right? But it was just so that was happening, but then people were dying and getting sucked up by the tornado.
But they're just sitting here anchored in like, this is fun.
Right. And the whole time I'm laughing. And Tristan's like, why are you laughing? It's not funny seeing people getting sucked up by a tornado. I was like, it literally is the goofiest way to go. Somebody's like, don't let go. Oh! You're like, and that's exactly. It's so stupid. But yeah, it was just, I think the first movie was better. I think this one looked better. But I mean, the storyline was just it was so goofy.
So did they figure out how to stop tornadoes? Mm-hmm. By throwing diapers in the air?
Basically, she collapsed this big ass tornado that was like going to kill everybody. So it was pretty intense.
I wonder if there's any science behind that, or if that's just pure foolishness.
Probably. But yeah.
Well,
it was so interesting. But the first one I say was way better.
Okay, I've seen the first one.
And I was hoping that like maybe one of the main characters was going to come back and like that was going to be like her mom or her grandma. No, it was nobody. I was like,
just completely unrelated.
She could have just been anybody. I was like, so why did y'all force her to try to do a little country accent when she can't?
That's true.
It's awful. But then there's like this whole moment with the rodeo. I'm so glad a Twister came through because
oh my god,
I don't like rodeos. There's something about hearing those little baby cows squealing while they're getting roped around. It's awful. And then somebody could get their head smashed in by a bull. You know what I mean?
It's
or getting
very violent,
impaled, or it's awful. I'm like,
culture, Kayli.
I hate that part of my culture. I don't claim her actually, but I was like, we're here for a long time. I need something to happen, and then a tornado was like, that was pretty good.
The cows flew.
Exactly. Is
it a dog?
No, it was a cow. No.
Oh, Scooby? Is that Scooby? Bitch.
Anyways.
Roar?
It was my cow in distress. I did not bark. It was my cow in distress.
Oh my god. Woo.
But yeah, 0 out of 10 would not recommend
Okay.
in theaters. I feel like if you want to throw it on in the background.
See, that's why I think we're spoiled now with all this streaming. I'm like, this could have been an email.
I know. That's how I feel about most of these movies.
Cut the shit.
I don't want to be
trash.
here, bro. I need a refund. But yeah. What about you? Any good ones?
No, I watched Deadpool.
Oh, did you like it? Don't spoil though, because I did really want to watch it.
This is all I'm going to say.
Oh.
I know I'm not the target audience for this kind of movie, but I will say I did like the first one. All I know is I don't have this visceral feeling for the other two of hate. Anyway, not hate. All I'm going to say is this movie, it's like they really wanted to capitalize off of what everything has become, and it was so forced. Basically, this movie was a bunch of sex jokes. I don't think we're landing. But just in a way where it was like they're really trying so hard. Like they're trying to be really shocking and dirty and violence.
It wasn't hitting this time around.
It was not hitting. Like it was, oh my gosh, you're going to have to beep this out, Kayli. It'd be like, oh my gosh, she's bigger than it. Like that's the jokes. Bleep all that out.
I thought it was funny.
No. That's like the whole movie. And it's like super violent. And I'm like not mad at violence, but it was violence to the point where I'm like, okay. Like, okay. Okay. Lots of sex violence. Like shoving things like a sword up somebody's ass. It was just so much. And I was just like, it's so, how do I describe it?
Gratuitous. What is that word? Gratuitous?
No.
Gratuitous.
I only been on this earth 28 years. I don't know what that means.
I don't know a lot.
But yeah, I was just like, it's so like they're trying way too hard. Way too hard. It's like they're like, well, Deadpool is like funny and it's really inappropriate. Let's times a million.
Oh, okay.
I could not get into this movie. Even James, who's a Marvel fan, was like, they just kept going. I'm like, they just keep it going. So that's my opinion. I give that one a 1 out of 5.
Oh.
I thought it was just, I was waiting for that movie to end.
Oof.
And apparently, have you seen Loki?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
but I think there's a tie-in to it, right?
Well, it's basically the plot. Just switch out Loki for Deadpool. That's why James was like, I'm not sure why they did. He's like, I was so bored. He's like, it was literally step by step Loki. He's like, I don't know why they did that.
Interesting.
And but the thing is, the movie would make jokes about itself to be like, we see, we know. But like, I'm like, you can't just get away with it because you're making jokes. You can't just write a joke in there, be like, because I think he mentioned something about Loki and how it's similar.
Oh.
So we're supposed to just like not care now.
Yeah.
So I didn't see Loki, so I didn't care. But it is another multiverse movie.
That's why Wolverine's back in it.
Yeah. Once again, I don't care for the multiverse storyline. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all. So I was not intrigued. The storyline was boring me because it's another multiverse movie. The jokes were just not
joking.
I don't think the audience was laughing that much. Like there's one girl who's cracking up. That those people who just we're just like, girl, be serious. In my opinion, like I really don't even think the audience was laughing like that. It was just like, okay, not my kind of movie. But that's all I'm saying. I know it's not my type of movie.
Yeah.
But I did like the other ones. So maybe I have to go back and see if the other ones were as bad as this one. But I remember the other ones being good. This one, it was like they were just like, let's amp it up. Let's give the people what they want. And it's not what we wanted. It just was so childish. It was like pee pee poo poo, sexy boy humor. Like sex, boy poo poo pee pee.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But, you're going to have to watch it now. Let me know what you think. But I absolutely was like, no.
Tristan's been looking forward to it.
Well, tell him to unlook forward to it. Bring some drinks. Yeah, get a drink for you, though. It'll be a little funnier. Lord.
That sucks.
Anyway.
Anything else that you've been watching that you wanted to mention?
I've been watching The Boys. It's a show.
Oh,
Have you heard of The Boys?
I'm
sure you've seen it somewhere.
I have.
Yeah, have you watched any episodes?
I have.
The first one or two or a couple?
I've seen the first season.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't love.
Didn't love it? I liked it. I think that, but I'm now in the 4th season and I'm starting to.
There's 4? Sorry.
The 4th one just came out. Yeah, the 4th one just came out. And I really like I love the first season. I like the second season, but 3rd, 4th, it's doing a little of a decline. I think my biggest issue, no spoilers, is I feel like a lot of characters should have been killed off by now. But the reasoning for people staying alive isn't making sense to me. Like they have to, when you create a world where there's superheroes who can kill and get away with anything, I get it's hard to make sense of why some characters that are not superheroes, like why they're still alive.
Right. Which is like the main cast of characters.
Correct. So the main cast of characters is really, they're not superheroes, or most of them aren't. So I get that you kind of have to pull strings and do stuff for why they're still here.
Right.
Because there's no reason why they keep running into all these superheroes and the superheroes just keep letting them go.
Right, alive.
So it's getting a little forced for me because I'm like, he should be dead. He should be dead. Why is he not killing him? Right. And their reasoning, sometimes they do give, I mean, they do give reasons why they're not most of the time, but it's getting a little weak for me.
Oof.
So I'm watching The Boys, so I'm going to continue watching it because I'm so far in, but I don't hate it.
You're just a little disappointed.
It does feel like, yeah, it's a little bit of like, what are we doing? But I don't know how close they are going to the comics or anything because it is a comic. So I don't know.
Did not know that.
So I can't maybe be mad at the showrunners if
that's the source material.
I'm like, I can't really be mad, but I don't know if they're deviating at all. I'm trying to think anything else. Are you watching anything else? Any shows?
Shows? Not really, but I have been watching movies.
Of course you have.
But I did watch this one that I really did like called Oddity. Pretty good.
What's that one about?
So,
summary, no spoilers?
Summary, no spoilers. Okay, it's about these twin sisters. One of them is blind, and she has this magical power of being able to touch things and seeing what the person who last touched it or who had that item, what they experienced. Okay. Her sister murdered, dies. Oh, no. And she's trying to figure out what happened.
Oh, she's the one running around. I think I've seen that. Like, she's blind. She's running around trying to find out who killed her. No, that's the one where she's trying to find out who killed her friend. Okay, never mind. Continue.
There's lots of movies that sound very similar.
Yes.
But so basically she ends up going to the place where her sister was murdered, which is the house that her now ex-brother-in-law lives in because
he's widowed.
Right.
Okay.
And so he lives at the place where she was murdered and she's trying to figure out what really happened. So that's it without any spoilers.
Okay.
Pretty good movie. I liked it.
Where's it on?
It was in theaters. But I think it might be coming on to Shudder soon.
Okay, I'll check that one out. Audacity.
Oddity.
There we go.
But people were really comparing it between that one and Long Legs because they came out around the similar time.
Oh, okay.
And so there was lots of people being like, well, this was way better than Long Legs, blah, blah, blah.
And you were like,
I was like, okay, calm down. But I think it's just like this weird thing where they want to like tear down a movie and build up another one. I'm like, they can both be good for different people. I like both of them. They were a great time for me. So stop the hate. But yeah, the only other movie I watched was like this other movie called, I finally watched Saltburn. Have you seen that movie? No. Waste of a fucking time. I don't know why this movie got so, well, I know why, but the reason why it got so much hype kind of pisses me off. I'm like, y'all are just a little bunch of weirdos
who like certain things.
It wasn't even like a good like storyline. Like outside of the sex stuff, that was like weird. It wasn't even a good story.
He was just living in a rich house.
Yeah.
Was there a twist to why everybody was there?
Well, the thing is, it's like he's like a poor guy, right? Like he has no friends and he's like has family issues. He has no money, blah, blah, blah. But like whenever I was watching it, I was like, oh, so he's just trying to like infiltrate on this like life.
Yeah.
And that was the twist, I guess. And the fact that he was a liar. So.
Infiltrate, like, did he want to be him or replace him?
Would you like to know what happened?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he ends up like killing everybody in the family off, except for like the dad. The dad dies of natural causes. And now he's like the owner of Saltburn. So that was like the plan the whole time, I guess.
Even he kills the guy that he was obsessed with. Mm-hmm. Why would he own it? They put it in his name?
So after that, like the mom was really obsessed with him after the son died. Like they got pretty close and the dad was like, you got to go. Like you're not helping her at all. Like she's stuck basically. And so he's like, I'll pay you off to leave. And then after he dies, the dad that paid him off, he like runs into her coincidentally and they like
comes back in her life.
Right. And then she gets sick and signs over the house and then he pulls a plug on her. That's crazy. Yep. But the sex stuff, do you know all those scenes that everybody's been talking about?
I know. Yes. There's a bathtub scene.
Right. Which I'm like, okay, it's gross. I could have gone all my life without seeing it.
Isn't there the scene in the, what's it called? Cemetery.
Yep. Apparently that was improvised. Him having sex with a grave was that's improvised. Crazy. And that's the man Sabrina Carpenter claims.
Isn't that, there was one scene where apparently he allegedly told everyone to get out so he could improvise and just.
I think that was it. That's the story I've heard.
Whose grave is it?
It's the guy. What's his name? Like Jacob Elordi or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that guy. When he dies, he humps his grave because he's obsessed with him. Yeah, I could have gone all my life without watching that movie. And then at the end, he like dances butt booty naked for like 2 minutes. And that was the end of the movie.
Art.
I was like, I can't believe I stayed up watching this shit. It was awful.
Crazy.
But the other movie I watched was I Saw the TV Glow. I was kind of looking forward to it.
I heard that one was pretty good, actually.
It was very odd. It was a very strange
Was
movie.
it not the Poltergeist? I don't know why it looked like a Poltergeist.
Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of like that, but it's not at all.
What's it about?
It's about
No spoilers.
No spoilers. It's about these two teenagers who get really into this TV show when they're younger. And then one of the characters leaves for 10 years and comes back and is like, I think it was real. Not a TV show. I think it was real. So that's it without spoilers.
Okay.
Did I like it? I don't know. There's another time where I was like, I watched a lot of stuff where I was like, I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that. You gotta sit on it for a week.
Yeah. So
hanging the nails.
That's about it for me. Are we doing our regular stuff or no?
Y'all know where we're at.
That sounds great. We'll talk to y'all next time about whatever we pick.
Bye. Hi everybody, I'm Hayley.
And I'm Kayli.
And today we're doing a little mix, a little mingle.
Ooh.
We watched Trap and shit. So that was awful. I want to throw that out.
You're spitting bars, Hayley. I appreciated it. You think you're the shit, bitch? You're not even a flop.
There was none of that in the song.
It should have been. Come on.
Anyway, let's do that one more time.
Yes, ma'am.